Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, good morning everyone. I hope you're all doing great in this occasion. As you know that today we are gonna continue our presentation agenda. So, first of all, we would like to say thank you so much for all of you who can attend this meeting for following our presentation. And first of all, and we do not forget to say thank you so much for Ibu Mira, who has given us the opportunity for keep conducting our presentation without you here. It's such an unfortunate thing, but it's no worries because we can continue our presentation. So, the first of all, we would like to introduce ourselves, our group. I'm sorry, and starting with me, I'm Chef Ramdhani as your moderator of this presentation, and the next is.
My name is Nurul Doni. My name is Fidelis Diana. My name is Salsa Diana Fudiari. And I'm Anjani Salamafita.
My name is Linda Putra.
My name is Fauzila.
And we are the presenters of our last but not least presentation. We can talk and discuss also share for a little bit about freelance journalists. So, first of all, I would like to ask you, have you ever heard or know about freelance journalists? No? Are you sure?
Yes.
But if I ask you, do you know what is journalist? Yes, I know, of course. And do you know what is freelance? Of course. So, please combine the freelance and journalist. Okay, so that is a freelance journalist. So, today we're gonna continue or we're gonna talk about freelance journalists. For the first is freelance journalist and freelance journalism and freelance journalist. This part will be explained by Andini. Andini, stage is yours.
Thank you so much for the very short time. Alright, as you have heard earlier that there are freelance and journalists, or freelance and journalism. But what comes to your mind when I say journalist? Freelance. Comes to your mind? Alright, maybe freelance is working for different companies at different times rather than being permanently employed by one company. And now, what about journalism or journalists? What about journalists? Anyone? Alright, so freelance journalism and freelance journalists. According to Allen 2011 and Lemon 2013, freelance journalism encompasses news, analysis, commentary, opinion, and increasingly more subjective modes of journalism in today's media environment, or we can say it as brand journalism. And what about freelance journalists? According to Rudin and Watson 2002 in Templeman 2009, freelance journalists are the journalists who are not hired by the media organization, and they usually work for a number of different employers and often at the same time, and paid for stories they produce usually by the word or at a flat rate per article. So, based on this definition or based on this explanation, we can say that freelance journalists also can be classified as independent journalists who earns income from writing, photojournalism, sub-editing, videography, or any other journalism activity that, or even combination of these things, of what I've said earlier, without being attached to a media company. Get it? Alright. And freelance journalists are different from journalists who submit their works or their writings or stories for a publication or online outlets for no payment, which purely to receive a good deeds or good services as an exchange for a story. So, freelance journalists is it different for journalists who only write for only their own satisfaction. Okay, and since they operate in the industry or they operating in the media industry is independently without being attached to a big one media company, a study conducted by BAS 2007 believed that freelance journalists should be more professional compared to the employed journalists. Alright, maybe that's all I can explain for today, and I give it back to the moderator.
Alright, thank you so much, Andy. This year, everyone, we have not about the freelance journalist and freelance journalism. It is such a kind of a little bit different yeah, about the freelance journalism and freelance journalism. So now we will go into the deepest area. So harden your seatbelt because the next one we will discuss about the types of freelance journalists. This part will be explained and delivered by Chacha. Chacha, come is yours.
Thank you, moderator, for giving me the time. So today I would like to share about types of freelance journalism. There are four types of freelance journalism. The first one is article or feature writing. So in this article, most common type of writing is about freelancing. So as an article or feature writer, you are able to write about things that you are interested on or you are expert on and you are passionate. Passionate, I mean, jadi pada freelance ini tuh lebih kepada our passionate to write about something that yang kita interesting about that gitu. So in this article of feature writing juga has two main types that involve. They are magazine and editorial design. And the second one is copy or content writing. So the sum of content such as copy or in-house publication, such as ebooks. So how to get this job or the content writer job? This job doesn't involve the same part of process that article or writing process does. As a content writer, biasanya itu menuliskan sesuatu untuk dengan tujuan to promote something. Jadi untuk promosi sesuatu. Jadi lebih biasanya you can apply job advertisement online. Jadi harus pintar dalam membuat suatu teks untuk menarik engage dari pembaca agar pembaca tertarik membaca tulisan tersebut. So we need to be creative to be a content writer. So the third one is blogging. This can be considered as a subcategory of content writing, but it also can stand alone. In this blogging, talking about an individual blog and a guest blogging strategy, to freelance make money, so we need to creating valuable content that reach a specific audience to make sure that your blog is successful. So the last part is editing. In editing, this is not typically of freelancing writing job, but if you are a writer and you have interest of editing, it will be a good chance because freelancing editor and provide proofreaders can provide service to all manner of the business, such as, for example, from business want to their check to individual who want to seeking editor for their individual books. So in summary, they are similar, but what is make it different is where are the process to create publishing. So maybe that's all for me. I will give it back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Sacha. It's interesting, right? Share the types of freelance journalism, article, copywriting, blogging, or editing. We have now that these are the types of freelance journalists. And now we go to the capabilities. Alright, next. The capabilities of freelance journalists, there are some points that will be delivered and explained by Willinga. Willinga, stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Here I will explain the capabilities of freelance journalists. The first is writing and reporting skills. Freelance journalists need to be able to write complete and informative articles, as well as conduct interviews and gather information for their stories. Next is research abilities. Freelance journalists need to be able to gather information from a variety of sources, including online database, interviews, and public records. Next is adaptability. Freelance journalists often work on a variety of stories and assignments and need to be able to quickly adapt to new topics and styles of writing. The next is self-management. Freelance journalists are typically independent contractors and therefore need to be able to manage their own side projects and finances. Next is networking. Freelance journalists need to be able to build and maintain relationships with sources, editors, and other industry professionals. Next is multimedia skills. Freelance journalists need to be able to work with a variety of multimedia formats, including text, image, audio, and video. Uh, Next point is entrepreneurial skills. Freelance journalists are effectively running their own businesses and need to be able to market themselves and their service effectively. And last point is versatility. Freelance journalists need to be able to write for different platforms, audiences, and styles, and should be able to adapt their writing to different genres and formats. That's all from me. I give it back to moderator. Thank you.
Alright. Thank you so much for revealing that. So guys, this is the capabilities of freelance journalists. You can see on the screen there are 8 points how we can be got the point of the capabilities of this freelance journalist. The next one is the topic about the transformation of freelance journalism. This point is not more interesting. It is such an amazing point. So keep focused and keep your eyes on the screen because this point will be explained by the gorgeous presenter. It's Pina. Pina, time is yours.
Alright, thank you. I thank you for the time. Okay. Before going to talk about the transformation of freelance journalism, do you know guys about transformation? What is it? Perpindahan, movement, yeah. Okay, that's right. That the transformation is a complete change or improvement for the better in something or someone. Some in this freelance journalism, the transformation, there are three transformations. As the industry skills, working life, and some identity of Australia's freelance journalists continue to be shaped by an industry. So, based on Rudin and Boston in 2002, there are three categories of transformation of freelance journalism. First, the jack of all trades freelance. This type is the artisanal freelance who will can go anywhere and report and do anything of operating across several media, but also focus on specializing in one what is it? Mm, subtopic. And then the second is the production supporter of them working on a long-term basis in sub-editing, reporting, or producing or for print and publishing, such as copy editing or as we know is copywriting. And the last is the part-time freelance. This one either has a main job and does a few commission or assignment, and then in this one, of the specialist either by subject, but focus on geographic or type of media outlet. So that's one the transformation of freelance journalism. To conclude that transformation in this one is like a movement, improve from the check and the production and the part-time freelance. Maybe that's all from me. Thank you so much. I give it back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Pina. So the next point will be about the challenges for freelance journalists. It will be explained by me personally. So guys, as we know that in this whole world we have or we know there is some challenges beside the behind someone, including in this freelance journalist field. So this point, challenges for freelance journalists, there are nine points. So let's discuss one by one. The first one is writing about portfolio. Why I put these challenges into the first challenges is because the portfolio is such an what is it important point in writing or in making an art including this writer or writing because portfolio is we can describe the portfolio is such we apply for the job but without a curriculum vitae or without a resume. It's such an unprofessional and it is so hard how we can get or how we can earn that job, for example. And then the second was not having enough work. It is such a really fun and it is such a link for the from the previous point because if we have a lack of portfolio and we have a lack of the job experience, it will be an obstacle. It will be a challenge for us to be a what is it a good writer, how to be a good freelance journalist because portfolio and job experience can come when it is combined with each other, it will be a strong and robust formulation for us as a job seeker. And the third one is not understanding marketing. Of course, because the freelance or because the writers, it is also, let's say they only know how to write something, how they can express their idea into the written form, but they don't know how to market their writing or their text, for example. And this one become a challenges. It's they have to improve the marketing skill to sell, for example, their what is their writing. And then the fourth one is scope creep. Scope creep means here is how we can agree towards something. And for example, like this, we agree with a job, and we that job is a text or one theme. But when we begin to write, there are more additional job, and we cannot reject it. We accept it. It is such a challenge for the freelance journalists because they are not professional, so they cannot. They have not. They don't have. I'm sorry. They don't have a right or they don't have a power to reject that job. So as a freelance journalist, they can accept it. As best as you can. And the fourth one is time management. Of course, because time management is such a crucial and essential thing for every job field, not only writing but also the reporting, of course, including we as a student or teacher or also lecturing, time management is such an important thing. So this is such a challenge is how freelance journalists can be a good and can perform well to a public. And the fourth one is negotiating pay. It is why we can call as a journalist is a business or a job because pay is something that we can earn from our work. We work for earn the money, for example, and we work for can what is it? Give us feedback for what we can do for the others, for example. So this is such a negotiating money, negotiating pay. It relates with the previous points. It is such what is it? A marketing. So it relates with the marketing field. So it is how we can do our marketing skill, our negotiation skill to others. So we can be a good freelance journalist. And the next one is maintaining clients. Of course, it is more important with the previous point, marketing, negotiating pay, and maintaining clients. Because we as a writer should what is it? Give the robust, the strong opinion, the strong advertisement. For example, how what we can give to the client if our writing or our job is not really good. For example, when our job, when our text, when our writing is really good, we can give something valuable to the client. So we can, apa ya, in Indonesia meyakinkan klien towards our job or our portfolio. Back to the first point. And the next one is imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome refers to the insecurity of the personality because the freelance journalist, of course, will feel that I'm still freelance. I'm not a professional. I'm not a powerful writer, for example. So they will be feel that I'm really insecure because my writer, my job, or my text, for example, is not as good as that, for example. So imposter syndrome will of course be felt by the mostly freelance writer. Why I said this because I read some articles because yes that show that freelance journalists feel that and it that's the reason why I put the imposter syndrome here becomes a challenge. And the next one is getting clients to buy you. Of course, related with the negotiating or the marketing skills, how the client can pay us as a writers, for example, because as I said earlier, we work for the money, we work for the business, for example. So that's the point. Hopefully, you guys can get the whole or entire point about the challenges for freelance journalists. All right. Next one topic about the opportunities of freelance journalists. After we know the challenges of becoming the freelance journalist, this is the opportunities of freelance journalists. There is an advantages and there is a disadvantages. It's such a perfect collaboration, and this is the advantages beside the challenges. This point will be explained by Nurul, and it's yours.
Okay, because we have known about the challenges, so maybe some of you feel like I'm afraid of being journalist, being freelance journalist. But these are the opportunities of freelance journalism. The first one is great way to earn money. Nah, because a freelance journalist have apa ya, flexible time to work, we can express freely for being in a work in a freelance journalism. And also, if you want to earn more of money, you have to do more of working in freelance journalism. The second one is can work with big companies. The unique one of the freelance journalist is we can collab with many companies in one side. So if we apa ya, if we show our capabilities, just now we have learned about capabilities of being a freelance journalist and show our potential in journalism. So become some big companies will see us, will look at us. Maybe not us, not we are not show or we are offer the services to big companies, but big companies will recruit you. The third one is creating a financially viable career. China Champion 2016 said that if you become a freelance journalist, this will be a job that will continue to exist in the future and will continue to be needed in the future, especially in like now in the digital era. Many companies will need some journalists for their development. The last is work and life balance. Uh, if we are being freelance journalists, we can balance between our work of being freelance journalist and our life for enjoying our life. And for by being a freelance journalist, also we are reach some and open the other opportunities for collab with the other company or the other person. And also the last, I will give you the last opportunity
capabilities of being journalists. Also, open our knowledge in the other journalism world. Maybe enough for me. Thank you very much. I give it back to the moderator.
All right, thank you so much, Tina, for explaining these opportunities of freelance journalist topic. And the last one, it is become the final explanation about freelance journalism. It is a guide to freelance journalism. This point will be explained and delivered by Bigdad. Bigdad, and it's yours.
Okay, all right. Thank you to my moderator Anjali, and uh, thank you everyone for this session. I want to explain about a guide to freelance journalism. Oke, sebelumnya mohon maaf saya demam panggung ya, karena saya berdiri di depan orang hebat seperti kalian. You are the best teacher ya, calon ya. Itu was for us. Oke. Oke, panduan ini diterbitkan oleh London School of Journalism untuk memulai menulis freelance yang profesional ya, karena kalau tidak profesional kita tidak akan mendapatkan cuan yang baik ya. Okay, here are some condensed notes on what professional journalists say about freelance writing. This article is divided into the following subsection. Okay, the first one is why do you write? Why do you write? Kenapa kita menulis? Why? Up to me? Up to you? Okay, bisa atau bisa for everyone to read, to make money, yes, to make money, to be part, and to give information for everyone. Okay. Karena salah satu pekerjaan seorang jurnalis, salah satu bagian pekerjaan seorang jurnalis itu adalah menulis ya, menulis. Jadi seperti yang sudah disampaikan di slide types of freelance journalism ya, di sana ada bagian yang menulisnya. Okay, the first one yang tadi kenapa why do you write? Kenapa harus menulis? Karena tadi saya sudah menyampaikannya. Okay, and second one is understand what the readers want. If you are going to be either mainstream journalist or a future right or niche topics, don't limit yourself to reporting stories from your own backyard. There is one thing you have to bear in mind more than anything else. Journalism is about people. It's not about you. It's not about your personal experience. It's not about your grandmother, and it is not about what you was think. It is an objective, impartial piece of research work, and it needs to be written like that. Okay, you have to work on keeping your work about the interviews, facts, and figures. Glance and impartiality. Your job is not identify the sources and put perspective on it. Okay, and then understand what you editor wants. Yeah. If you are looking to be applied, ya, jika kita ingin dihargai atau dikasih gaji yang bagus itu harus jadi profesional dan harus sesuai apa yang dipahami diinginkan oleh seorang editor, karena salah satu bagian dari jurnalis ada seorang editor. Nah, kita harus seorang editor harus memahami apa yang sudah kita apa yang sudah kita cari tentang informasi yang ada di luar. Jadi, if you are looking to find, you want to write for a minor commercial publication or a media outlet, every newspaper, publication, TV channel, or radio broadcast has its own voice. It has its own style. Jadi setiap lembaga punya stylenya masing-masing. Jadi harus paham dengan editornya yang ada dalam lembaga tersebut. Okay, next one is where is your market? Di mana market kalian ya? Jadi kita harus minta di mana market kita. Freelance by definition is paid for exactly the amount of work done for the employer. He is not bound by the employer per hour. Neither is exclusive. Is it a part of your job as a freelance writer to hunt for the correct market and not just shoot glints and hope there will be a hit? Okay. Next one, number 6 is prepare your pitch. Be professional and keep your reporting accurate and entertaining. Jadi ketika kita ingin menawarkan kita adalah seorang jurnalis yang tidak terikat sama lembaga, kita harus benar-benar memberikan penawaran yang bagus gitu. Jadi kita harus untuk menjadi seorang jurnalis yang profesional. Kalau kalian mau jadi jurnalis ya. Oke. Yang terakhir adalah how not to write. Jika kita tidak ingin menulis dalam jadi seorang jurnalis itu ada bagian section atau ada bagian dari seorang jurnalis itu kalau misalkan kita tidak mau menjadi apa yang penulisnya, jadilah bagian dari jurnalis tersebut yaitu dalam slide sebelumnya, would you like to be in the blogging section atau editing section. Jadi mau jadi bloggingnya atau editingnya itu bisa to you. Okay, maybe that's all. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Ajami. I'll give back to the vendor.
Alright, thank you so much for your great explanation. And now we move into the next session. It is a Q&A session for those who have the question for this topic, which is the freelance journalist. Please raise your hand. Then don't forget to state your name and your student's number, because we have the limit time, so that we open for 2 questions only. Alright, so the first question comes from I will count it down 1, 2, 3. Sekali lagi 1, 2, 3. Alright, go first.
Okay. I'm Lisa Solita. My last number is identity 135. As we know, freelance journalist is not or not bound with the companies. So, the salary mean is not with that we call FF. And then because of that was explained by Ajami before. We must negotiations about the payment. And then that I wanna ask about how much general or range the salary we got if by the
Good question. And the next questions come from 1, 2, 3. Ali, please.
Okay, thank you, Miss. There are my question. I want really to answer my question. I know the topic is related to RCP and that, but I want you to answer. Yeah. Okay, so some of the biggest challenges facing freelance journalists are the need for constant networking, the lack of job security, stability, and the difficulty of building a stable income. Yeah. So freelance journalists must be prepared to hustle and work hard, as there is no guarantee of constant So the question is, it is important for freelance journalists to have a strong support system as it can be a challenging and isolating career path. Jadi kan freelance itu kurang lebihnya nggak ada keterkaitan sama instansi ya. Oleh karena itu kan untuk keamanannya dan sebagainya, apalagi kecuanya kan jadi tidak stabil gitu ya. Oleh karena itu ketika freelance ini mengemukakan argumennya di media ataupun di mana itu, ketika memiliki komunitas lainnya yang kuat, apakah gimana gitu, takutnya dikhawatirkan karena sendiri gitu kita membuatkannya kritis, padahal kan itu memang kritis kan sifatnya dan harus logik juga, tidak boleh pendapat pribadi gitu. Oleh karena itu ketika menghadapi situasi yang mana bisa kamu ini ya, nanti saya tunggu di belakang layar nah itu.
Right, everyone, I have your attention, please. I would like to try to answer the question from Nisa. The range, the salary of being freelance journalist, or it can also be called as a content writer. Yes. So it depends on where you work and how you work, because there is a quality and there is a quantity. If we talk about the salary, it depends also with the minimum, the regional minimum salary. It's called in Indonesia UMK or UMR gitu. For the salary itself, if we become a full time of freelance, a full time of journalist, it depends on where is the company you work, because the company will give the different salary for their journalists, for example. But as the sources that we got, the salary that we will get if we become a full time of journalist or content writer, it's around 4.5 million rupiah to 6 million rupiah. And if we becomes the freelance writer or freelance content writer, it is counted by the quantity of your writing. It will be the 100,000 rupiah to 200,000 rupiah per text. Per satu tulisan in bahasa. Like that. Is that enough?
Thank you.
Alright. So maybe from the other presenter. That's enough.
Izin menambahkan juga yang bisa itu, karena kan tadi kan kita itu bahas about freelancing ya, jadi bagaimana memikirkan kualitas daripada kuantitas. Nah, untuk mencapai kualitas tersebut, menjadi content writer juga kita itu harus memiliki banyak wawasan dulu gitu. Jadi how to engage the reader untuk come to our writer, untuk to come to our writer. Jadi seperti yang saya jelaskan tadi harus as a content writer we need to be more creative to get more engaged dari reader itu sendiri gitu. Jadi selain menambah wawasan, kita juga harus makin kreatif dalam menyajikan sebuah tulisan untuk readers. Thank you. Nita.
Ali, maybe confirm your question first. Confirm.
What kind of support system?
Yeah, what do you mean by some support system there? Is that family or colleague or
I mean, the big support system here is with the instansi terkait. Karena kan freelance itu ya seperti itulah freelance ya. Karena kan tidak ada kalau misalkan seperti yang saya sampaikan bila mana terjadi ketika mengumpulkan pendapatnya artikelnya itu ya. Terus ada kontranya tapi banyak di kontranya, kemudian kamu saya di belakang layar oleh pihak agensi yang mana lebih ada powernya itu. Nah, apakah akan ditanggungjawabkan oleh pihak instansi tersebut ataukah diansap gitu. Jadi kan freelance itu memang ya tidak terikat, tapi ya alangkah baiknya ketika kita ada di satu instansi atau di satu person itu ya ada kejelasannya gitu tentang kerjanya itu.
Saya answer aja kalau misalkan dari teman-teman ada yang mau nanti silakan gitu. If you're talking about policy mungkin ya itu lebih ke keamanannya. Ya, keamanan ya. Kalau misalkan yang tadi saya jelaskan ada bloggingnya misalkan, kalau di freelance itu kan blogging itu lebih ke blog writer-nya kan. Si blog writer ini kan di blog ya. Nah jadi si blog ini tuh have their own policy gitu. Jadi harusnya dari tulisan-tulisan dari writer itu sudah apa ya
terlindungi.
ya kayak gitu. Nah soalnya kalau misalkan dari kan kalau misalkan freelancer itu biasanya dari website gitu ya. Nah setahu saya mah kayak gitu. Jadi ada polisinya tersendiri lah, ada keamanannya tersendiri, dan juga di dalam terms of freelance itu juga kan ada editingnya. Nah mungkin walaupun itu mah lebih ke artikel. Kalau yang artikel itu kan biasanya ada penulis, ada editor. Nah di editnya di situ gitu. Nah kalau untuk blog sendiri itu biasanya itu lebih ke yang ngatur sistemnya itu si yang punya yang punya website itu sendiri gitu. Jadi keamanan semuanya itu diurus sama sistem blognya itu sendiri gitu. Kalau misalkan artikel itu lebih terstruktur gitu, walaupun emang disebutnya freelance gitu. Mungkin dari Belinda
Oke, mungkin Winda bisa menambahkan.
Oke, jadi saya tambahkan tentang polisi ini ya, tentang keamanan ini. Saya mendapatkan informasi dari Kominfo, website Kominfo, khusus untuk para jurnalis di Indonesia itu Bapak Presiden Joko Widodo sendiri ya, presiden kita itu mengutarakan dalam pembukaan Kongres PWI Persatuan Wartawan Indonesia itu untuk beliau mengatakan media harus dilindungi dalam menyampaikan informasi kepada masyarakat. Ini secara umum ya, polisi itu sudah terjamin sama negara. Dan Presiden sendiri menekankan jangan ada yang menghalangi media dalam menjalankan kerja jurnalismenya. Jangan ada yang melakukan kekerasan pada wartawan yang tengah menjalankan profesinya. Itu mungkin keamanan secara umum ya, khusus di negara Indonesia. Mungkin itu keamanan.
Yes, I want to add some insight for you. And is it important to have a strong support system?
Ya.
Menurut saya, yes, it is very important to have a strong support system because kita as a freelance journalist kerja sendiri, independent, mandiri secara mandiri. So we have to have a strong mindset to think that aku bisa nih mempertanggungjawabkan apa yang aku tulis ini. So it is very important to have a strong support system or mindset as a freelance journalist.
To sum up, maybe it is such. It depends on how, from the outside or inside of the personality, to define the support system is and whether it is from the policy, from the mindset, or of course from the yes, other sources that can support or can help us to become a freelance or good writers. Is that enough, Ali? Alright everyone, so the time is up and the presentation that we have conducted, and thank you so much for your nice attention. And I'm sorry if our presentation we have a mistake or there is a lack of insight. Hopefully you can get all of the point from this presentation. And let's close this presentation by reciting alhamdulillah together. As we close this meeting, we say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Lu dimatiin ya?